Hi guys, welcome to Missy's Imaginings. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. We had a very nice Christmas and it was pretty quiet and subdued, so it was very nice. I'm used to large crowds of people. I grew up with a big family, and now that everyone is kind of grown up and married and they have their own families and in-laws and all of that, it's kind of dispersed. So it was pretty quiet and very enjoyable, and not a lot of work, so we were able to relax. So it was pretty stress free. And then, of course, I enjoyed the ice storm that we had. I was going up our stairs, and we have a very steep driveway, and so on one side there are some terraced steps that are more like landscaping than steps because they're very wide from the front to the back, but it just gives a terraced incline so that you can more easily go up. But because the freezing rain was so thick, even the rock on those steps was really slick, and that's when my left foot snapped backwards, and I heard this really loud pop. Of course, I felt it because my knee hyperextended backwards, and it's still pretty sore. But I am able to get around. I do go to work, and so I think it's just waiting for it to get better. And it's just like I just don't bounce back like when I was in my 20s. So there we go. But it is getting better. So thank you to all of you who sent little notes and messages, and thank you for your thoughts and prayers. I appreciate it. And it is getting better slowly but surely. But at this point, I'm still taking steps 1 foot at a time, and going up and down and holding onto railings. And so yeah. So in the meantime, I thought, well, let's go ahead and be creative. Speaking of, I hope that you've enjoyed the 12 Gifts of Christmas this year. I had a lot of fun getting those ready, and pretty soon maybe we'll start sewing some of those. So if there's one in particular that you would like to try, but you're unsure on the instructions, you can let me know down in the comments which one looks like one that you like the best, that you'd like a video for a tutorial, and maybe we can kind of start there. Also, I had a couple little things as far as fun finds, and then I thought we would go ahead and look over two things. First, I have just kind of a helpful hint when you are going to enlarge or reduce pattern sizes when it comes to doing the math. So if you're a very experienced seamstress or seamster, this will not be new to you. But if you're beginning and you're just starting to sew, and you have, say, a Barbie pattern, but you really want it to be an MSD or an SD pattern, there's some math involved sometimes. And even if you're going to enlarge the pattern on a printer or a copier, sometimes it's good to have a formula on getting from one size to another with the closest percentage increase. So we're going to look at a little bit of the math on just a helpful hint that might help you in that respect. And then also, I've been seeing lately some things across YouTube on clothing items that are just made from a rectangle or just made from a circle. And we did the Shalwar Pants on the channel, and I'll go ahead and, if I can remember, to link that below for you, which is basically, you know, cutting a rectangle with a couple angles and turning it into pants. And then today I thought it'd be fun to look at the items made with a circle. And of course, we all know a circle skirt, you cut a hole in the middle and that's where the waist goes. But these are actual like tops, and it involves on where you cut the holes for the sleeves. So I thought it'd be fun to try it on a doll scale and see kind of what we come up with for that. So that's our sewing project for today. So before we get to that, just a couple fun finds that I thought were fun. I was out shopping. My daughter's best friend came up from LA, and they wanted to go to the craft store. So I did pick up 2 new brushes. I found a helpful hint from someone on YouTube, and I don't remember who it was because it's been so long ago, but I tried it and I liked it. So when you're doing face-ups, a lot of the brushes I have they're very tiny because I thought, okay, I need tiny, tiny brushes. But the helpful hint that I saw was, yes, they need to be very thin and narrow, but she said leave the bristles long. And because they hold paint better when they're longer, there's more length to actually hold the paint, and you want the paint to be very fluid when you're doing face-ups. So I found 2 paintbrushes that are very narrow, but this one has bristles that are about 1/2 inch, and then these bristles are a good 1/4 inch. So as opposed to the ones that I was getting that were very, very short, and they would tend to like separate and not give me very good lines. But I have found that I do like bristles that are a little bit longer. So if you're doing some face-ups and you want those little tiny fine lines, just experiment, and you don't have to get really expensive brushes. I think these were like $3.95 a piece, and I didn't get, like $7 brushes, which you can, but I just wanted kind of a medium price range brush. But sometimes you do want to pay a little bit more than just, the Walmart package that has 15 brushes in it, because they're not going to be that high of quality. So for the face-up details like eyebrows and eyeliner, I do like a brush that's a little bit more of the actual artist brush quality and price range, but they still weren't horrible. But that's just a hint if you're doing your eyebrows, to get something that's got a little bit longer bristles. It does take a little practice because you've got more wiggle room in the bristles there, but with a little bit of practice, hopefully you'll have the same surprising and pleasing results that I did when I tried something that was a little longer. So a couple brushes there. Then I found these were in a jewelry section, and they're little tiny bottles of some different shapes, and I think they're supposed to usually go on necklaces, but I thought those would just be kind of fun. They're just kind of odd shapes. One's a heart, one looks like a light upside down light bulb, and the other one is like a pointed inverted teardrop. And but I thought they'd be fun to put some sparkles in and create just a pendant necklace for one of my BJDs. Then I found this, which is so cute. It's a tiny harmonica, and it was $3 on sale. Normally $7, so I got it for less than half price. And it's a keychain, but you can take the keychain off, and let's see here. Which side is the normal? Okay, so I think it'd be this. It works. So anyway, it's a tiny harmonica. So cute. That was $3. And I found this at the craft store at Craft Warehouse. And I thought that was really cute. And then we saw this. Let's see. And it is the teeny tiny turntable. So I thought, well, let's try this out. And I thought it was so cute, I couldn't walk away from it. So it has, let's see, there's some paper stuff in here. Okay, so let's see what else is in here. It's so cute. It was just a tiny, tiny little turntable. So there's a little paper. It has product information, battery safety, and a warning. Okay, so no instructions. Then there's a little book. And the box said it's a book about like music through the ages, which is cute. So it's a little book there. And back vinyl. Oh, and then here's the instructions. Your teeny tiny turntable kit. Okay. Oh, and it says you put the records on and spin them to get the music to play. So that's the little book with music. It has jazz band, 70s funk, and classic rock. There must be little album covers and then stickers. Sticker, okay. And then the little... Oh, it opens. So here's the... Isn't that cute? Okay. Oh, and the records, there's little metal things, like, and they're in different places. And then the front looks like it has the ribbing. Oh, the stickers go on here. Okay, so we put it on, and then it says to turn it. Oh. Let's see if we can hear that very well. Oh, it's not really turning, but you can put that over there too. Oh, and it keeps playing. It keeps playing when you take this off. Okay, well there's that one. So let's see what's this one. Oh, it's trying the same thing. That's the same song. Well, we already heard that one. Oh! That must be the jazz and the funky one. Okay. Let's see what this one is. Wonder if I can stop it. Okay. Now let's try this one. Okay, that's the same as it was before. Let's see if we stack them, if that makes a difference. That's the same. Oh, there we go. So this must be the classic one. You can't really turn it off. It has quite a bit of reverb, but isn't that the cutest thing ever? So, if your BJDs need a record player, it kind of looks like, let's see here. I have an Elohim. It kind of looks like a good MSD size to me. Let's see. So here's Elohim. She's 16 inches tall. So an album, yeah, probably about MSD size is going to be comparable to what this is. But it's so cute. I just couldn't resist it. So there you go. So there's my fun finds for that. Let's see. I'll go ahead and just stick these on here. I'll have to put the stickers on later. And then the little album covers are cute. So anyway, yeah. So this was $12.95 at Craft Warehouse. So that's where I got it and how much it cost. But it is super cute. Okay, so we'll put those over there. So, and then I found some fur. This was at Hobby Lobby, I think, which I don't go very often, but my mom had wanted to stop in. So I found some variegated green, pink, yellow fur for wigs that I thought was a fun color, just to have a variegated hairdo. So I found that, and I don't remember how much that was. Oh, $3.49. So that's not too bad, I guess. And so anyway, yeah, it's this folded is how big the piece is. Let's see if we can unfold it. So it's just a little rectangle. It looks like it's probably about 12 by 9, maybe. Is about how big it is. Oh, I guess, yeah, 12 by 9. That's right on the package. So anyway, that's kind of fun. So now we'll go ahead and take a look at the math I was talking about, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at our sewing project. I'll try to do some calculating here while I'm holding my camera, and hopefully it won't make you seasick. So in basic math, we're going to start with something really simple because it's a fun illustration that shows there's words that can replace the math symbols. So if I say 6 equals 2 times 3, it means 6 is 2 groups of 3. So if you're using the words is and of in a math sentence, they can be replaced with an equal sign and a multiplication symbol. And we know that these two can be switched to equal this. And then we also know that if one of these is missing, then we could say 6 equals what times 3. And so in order to find out what this one might be, we can say 6 divided by 3 is going to equal whatever it was we were looking for. So all these, because they can be interchanged, it can help us when we want to enlarge or reduce something to find the percentage by which we need to either increase or decrease our measurement. So we're going to pretend, now hopefully I'm making sense here. We're going to say my 44 centimeter MSD size doll is what I have a pattern for. And I want to find the percentage in order to get to my 60 centimeter doll, which is the SD size. So I know when I like to do an enlargement or reduction, I like to always take the size that I'm trying to find and put it in the product position, and then the one that I have in one of the factor positions, because then I know I'm going to multiply these two to get what I want, or I can divide this by this one to get my percentage. So hopefully that makes sense. So I can say 40, and I know that I want this to be my answer, and so I always put this alone on the equal sign. So I can say my SD size is what percent of the 44. So hopefully that's making sense so far. So now I know that if I want to find this measurement, all I have to do is divide the 60 by the 44 to get that missing percentage. So if I do this math, 60 divided by the 144, I'm going to get, let's see if I can hold my camera and still do this, 1.36, and that just continues because it's repetitive. So in order to change this number into a decimal, we move this 2 places, so we end up with 136%. And you can either do that straight or you can round up to 140% if you want. But that means that if I have a 44 centimeter MSD, then if I multiply it by 136% on the printer, then I'm going to end up with that SD size. Now let's say that we know we have a SD doll, but we want to find the reduction amount. So here again, I want to get to the 44 centimeters, And I know that I have a 60 centimeter doll, which is the SD. Here's our MSD. And MSD is what we want. So then I want to find the percentage of reduction because I want to get from this to my answer. And so now again, I can take the 44 this time and I can divide it by the 60 in order to get the missing percentage, which is 73, like this. And then to get the percent sign, we move that decimal 2 places to get 73%. So if I have a large pattern and I want to reduce it, then I can find the percentage of reduction. So hopefully that kind of gives a clue on how you can reduce or enlarge if you use these words, is and of. And just know that of means multiply, is an equal sign. And hopefully that will help you do some enlargements or reductions. Let's say we'll do a fun one here. Let's say you have a Barbie pattern. So the Barbie pattern is a 1/6 scale. They're what, 11 in, so they're like 27 centimeters. Let's say that. Just because I know I have some obitsus that are 27 centimeters. Okay, but say I wanted to enlarge that pattern to a full 60 centimeter size for an SD. So here's my SD and here's my 1/6 size doll. So I wanted to get to there, so I know that this is going to be, so this is going to be what percent of the 27 that I already have. So in order to find that, I can do the 60, divide it by the 27, and I'll get 2.222, and it goes on forever. There we go. So I can round it up to 2, or just double. So that means it's going to be approximately 200%. So if it's 200%, that means I'm going to double this in order to get that. Which you can kind of see it just because 27 is so close to 30. And you know in order to get to 30, you'd have to double it to get to 60. But this just kind of shows the math that's involved and how you can use those words. So I hope that's a helpful hint. If it's clear as mud, I apologize, but I just kind of wanted to give a little bit of a helpful hint on using some math when you're doing reductions or enlargements, because sometimes it's hard to know what percentage to put in your printer or copy machine in order to get where you want. And sometimes know that even with this, because of the placement of your pattern on the glass, so for instance, if you have your copy glass here, and let's see, I'm trying to look through the picture on my camera, so my depth perception is kind of bad. So here's your glass. Just know that if you have a pattern that's, you know, like this big and you're going to double it, just know that that's going to increase the amount it takes on the paper. And so you want to position it so the whole thing will come, you know, when it shoots out of the copy machine, so that it'll actually fit on the paper. And if you have something that's large that you want to get smaller, you're going to have to make sure that whatever large part you want to reduce will fit within the framing of the glass on your copy machine to capture the image. And then a lot of times this will kind of jar to one side, and so it might print out crooked. So you'll kind of have to experiment with your own printer or copier on where to place things on the glass to account for the enlargement. So I know sometimes on mine, if I'm going to enlarge something, I kind of place my image like right here on the glass, because I know it's going to enlarge this way and this way and this way when it comes out. And if I had it all the way over here, then some of this image as it enlarges would be cut off the paper. Hope that makes sense. So you'll just have to experiment with your own copier on how the defaults are in the setting to where it enlarges, to make sure that the enlarged image is, you know, still on your paper when it comes out of the machine. So, okay, hope that's helpful. And now we'll move on to the sewing part of our sew and chat. So we're going to use my model, Hua Rong, to create our little outfit today. This is Hua Rong from Mountains and Seas, I think it's Mountains and Seas, by Angel Studio. And she has a very curvy figure, so you can tell here her hips, they're not a lot of puff in the clothing. They're actually very full here. And she has kind of a medium bust, but even her waist, she doesn't have like the Barbie hourglass figure, although it is very curvy. It's a lot in her hips. So I thought, well, we'll use her because she has the largest dimensions of my 3rd scale dolls. And so that way, if I make the little dress, I know it'll fit pretty much everyone's. We're going to start by measuring from her shoulder down to where, because I want to make a dress. So from her shoulder, let's say if it's a T length, 18, and then I'll need a 1/2 inch to give or take for, well, or maybe a 1/4 inch for hem. Okay, so if I need to be able to have a circle that would be 18 1/4 inch in the radius of the circle. And I don't know that this piece will be long enough. So we might not be able to do a full T length. So we'll see what we have here. We're going to fold this diagonally because I want a square so that I can get my circle from the square. So we're going to fold it diagonally like this. There we go. So I know that'll be a square. So then I'm going to fold the triangle. This is my folded edge. So I'm going to bring the folded edges together and match up that tip. Then I'll do it one more time like this. And then one more time bringing this shorter edge over. I realized when I was filming and editing that my other view didn't really show what was going on, so we're going to do this part with a different fabric and then just insert it in. So that's the change of fabric. But once I have my square, I fold it into a triangle. This is my folded edge. Then I fold the edge along here, line it up, fold it again. So I've got all my folded edges together. Then to make my circle, it's kind of the little cheat way to do it, is I take the shorter edge over, and I'm keeping my tip of the triangle up here kind of always even, and I'm just going to put a pin where that meets. There we go. I'm not pinning this down, but then I'm going to keep the tip secure, and I'm going to move it over a little bit, and I'm going to put the other pin here. Let's see if I can get it to go in. Then I'm going to keep the tip secure, and I'm going to move it over again. And I bet you can tell what I'm doing here. It's just like a little cheat way to create your circle. Then I'm going to move it over here, put another pin. So I'm just putting a pin on the length of this folded edge because your circle is going to end up being the shortest folded edge, not the longest. So here we go, put another little pin. And then to cut my circle, I'm just going to cut where those pins are. So I'm going to cut here where it's pinned. Take that one out. Then I'll cut to the next pin. and you're cutting through some layers. So there we go. Take this pin out. Then I'll cut to the next one. Take that one out. Cut to the next one. Take that one out. Cut to the next one. Take it out. And then I just kind of round it out to the shortest end, or that tip. Then put my pins away. Make sure I grab them all. Stick it in my little pin cushion back here. Then when I open this up, voila! There's your circle. So that part was missing because it just didn't show because my camera was too high. So that's how you can cut the circle to make the circle shirt or dress or whatever project you want to make. So now I want to cut a small circle, and I'm going to go probably 3/4 of an inch. Then if you unfold it, then this would be the neckline. So that will be the length. Okay, so then I'm going to fold it again. Well, yeah, I'm going to fold it again. And I might make the neckline a little bit bigger. So you can always take a little bit more out, but you can't put more back in. I think I'm going to take just another 1/8 of an inch out, so it'd be more like that. Okay, then I want to measure from the neckline to where I want the shoulder to be. So let's find the beginning here. Okay, so if this is on her, like so, her shoulder joint is here. So I'm going to measure, there we go, to the shoulder joint is about 3 centimeters. Okay, and then from the joint down to her underarm is about 5.5. Okay, so now we're going to fold this back again. Okay, and we're going to measure the 3 centimeters is for the shoulder, and then I want like 5.5 is going to be the length of the arm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the 3, and I'm cutting 2 layers of fabric, well, 4 layers, but 2 of the folds here. And I'm going to cut here. And I'm cutting more of an oblong than I am an actual circle. Need the other end. So here's my beginning, and I need 5.5. So I'll cut to there. And cut that out. So I cut those out. So now, when you look at it, let's see. I have a piece of paper here. That'll be just white. Hopefully that'll show up better. So we have this curve, the neck, and this curve. And then these will be the armholes. Now, I don't like to take the doll's head on and off. So what I'm going to do next is I want to be able to just put it over her head, but I don't want to have to take her head on and off, and I don't know if this circle would go over her head. So I'm going to call this the back, and I'm going to cut straight down the back, about 2 inches. And I'm going to create a slit there so that it would be able to go over her head. So let's give it a try. And I think this is basically all there is to it. So we'll try it here. So we want the slit in the back, and then these are the armholes. Here we go. So we end up with this. Okay. And then in the back, I'm going to put a snap closure. And so then this is the dress, and then I would make a belt, and voila, we have a little dress. So I think that's about all there is to it. So now to finish this, I am going to put seam binding around the armholes and the neck and the slit in the back. And on the hem, I'm just going to put seam binding on it to finish it. And then make a little belt. And I'm not sure, I don't think any of these scraps will be long enough. But I may piece them just so I can use up some of these scraps, because there is substantial fabric in there. So I'll probably piece some of these just to make a long, like rectangle little belt tie. So I'll do that, and I'll put the binding on, and then we'll come back and put it on her and see how it looks. here is the final product, and I'll have to say that I am very surprised at how much I like it. It turned out pretty cute. So it does look a little wide in the waist right now because I just put it on over the top of the doll and tied it when she does have the stand in place. So there's like the stand is right here, which kind of, inhibits her little waistline. But I really think this turned out cute. It is so simple, so easy to do. On purpose, I used this cotton fabric because it does not have a naturally good drape. It's more stiff. And I had one that had a lot of really soft drape to it. It was a little heavier than I wanted, but I thought, no, I want to see what this cotton will do when it's just draped over the doll and tied around her waist. And I have to say, I really do like it. I did run out of the green seam binding or bias tape, and so I just made some of my own that matches the fabric for the neckline. I wanted to have this light green at the hem, at the arms, and then the neckline, but I ran out, but that's okay. And then I had a little bit of the stuff that I made and just made a little ribbon for her hair. But that is the complete circle dress. So it is a complete circle. Simply cut the neck out and the little slit to go overhead, which did work really well. Right now I don't have the snap yet, so right now there's just the little, I have a straight pin holding it in place, but it went over her head with no problem. And the arms are fine because it's just holes in a circle, and then you throw it over the top of her and tie the waist. So if you want a little, I don't know, I think it looks a little retro style kind of, but if you want something that literally is a circle with 3 holes in it, and then you just finish all the edges to get a really cute little dress, yeah, that's what it ends up looking like. So thanks for coming along. It was nice to catch up with everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye.